thank you. I'm just having a quick go with this 614 600 series machine. I've got 3 600 series and I thought I'll get them out and have a little chat through them because I was in a bit of a 600 mood today, so I thought, come on, let's get them out. So this is a basic one for the bottom of the 600 range. Let's bring you in a bit nearer. There's plenty of these on YouTube already, so I won't go on too much. It's a designer vacuum that has hose at the back. Now you'll notice I haven't got the tube at the back because it didn't come with one. I have got a white tube that I could put in, but that's with a 500 series toolkit at the minute. So we've got a hose. It's all very discoloured. This is where you would think retro brighting would be needed. I don't think I'll bother because I'm not a massive fan of these. I'm not a big enough fan of these to spend my time soaking them in peroxide, but you know, it's still nice to have. So yeah, it's from the 1980s. I can't actually remember what year it's from. We can have a look there. But yeah, we get hose attached to the machine now. So gone is the idea of having to attach your hose separately. So it's quite a nice idea. We have a flying fanny, as you'll see here. That's attached. Although I find on these it's very difficult to get this thing back on easily. Well, it's not a quick thing. Actually, that wasn't too bad. Crevice tool here somewhere, and space for a single extension tube. But this hose is stretchy, so it should reach up a few steps, sort of your staircase. Carry handle at the back, pedal to depress for carpet cleaning. The ratchet thing on this is broken, so you'll notice I won't touch the pedal, and it goes back like that. Which, you know, it should stop actually when you get to about there. Yeah, there we go. However, when you want to lift it over like the edge of a carpet, let's roll back a bit, you try and lower it back and you can't. So it is a bit annoying like that. I did get a ratchet ring from eBay, but it's the wrong sort. This is actually part of the fitment. I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it this bit? Yeah, I think it's here where the hose plugs in. That's part of the fitting that sits behind this frame here, and it should have some points on it that would hold the machine upright, but it's snapped off. I tried glue, it didn't work, so I'll have to get at some point another one of these tubes. But yeah, it's single on off button at the top. Lower you down a little bit. That's a bit better. Yeah, single on off button here, and inside bag door comes off. See, that's the original colour, the white. You could put an air freshener in there, bag check indicator, like a piston thing. Quite a funky design, very 80s this one. Bag in the housing here, press that and it should come, so press that and it comes off, yeah, there you go. So there's slightly different bags to the 500 series. Red clip to hold it. There's a little filter in there, I think I had to make that to fit. Your switch controls are behind this panel here. Let's see if I can get that in. I'm not as proficient with these as, there we go, snap, as I am with the 500s. But yeah, so that's that. And then at the bottom, there's another filter here and a height control. So I think the wheels and stuff on this have come out, and you can see other people's videos to explain how all that works, but it's in that setting, but it doesn't really make much difference. Underneath, let's do that, there we go. Underneath here, base plate's in quite good nick. The brush roll, it could do with replacing, but they're gold dust, can't get them. And there's your little plate there, and I can't read it backwards, and I don't think it's focused, but It's serial number 913, so 13th week of 1989. So, from memory, these are the second generation of 600 series. I think they first came out in the mid-80s, and you had a 610, which I don't have. 612 electronic in blue, and then they were replaced, I'm guessing about 89-ish, 88, 89. 610 replaced with 614, and 612 replaced with 616, which is also electronic. I think there's a 615, but I'm gonna make an educated guess and think that was possibly an exclusive for somewhere like Electricity Board or something. I don't know. I've seen a picture of one, but I'm not actively looking for one. I just wanted to get a couple of these just to try them out and to confirm that I prefer the 500 series, but we'll get on to that. But yeah, so that's just a quick look at this. I'll wrap the cable up, and then we'll go and have a look at the rest and a bit of paperwork and stuff like that. And as if by magic and a click of the fingers, here's the rest of them. So I've got 3 600 series machines. 616 in the grey. So this would have been the contemporary, there we go, of the 614. So it would have been these two that were on the market together. This one here, the blue one, I'll bring that forward slightly. Come on, dear. There we are. This is 612 electronic, and this was from, I think this one's dated 1988, but I think they came out possibly end of 85 or during 1985 and ran through to 1988. Based on this, the design did change, but we'll come on to this one in a minute. We'll have a look at the grey lady. Look, she's tipping back. These are fine. Okay, so they look a lot better for me personally. This is a personal opinion now. They look fantastic. They look ahead of everything else that seemed to be available at the time. If you think when this was out, what was the main vacuum that people had? Probably a turbo power. And as great as they are for cleaning carpets, they don't look that great, do they? Let's be honest. And the tools, you still had to attach tools to them, and they were a bit flimsy. Now these are not exactly the most robust machines that you'll come across, but they do feel a bit chunkier and a bit sturdier to use than using a turbo power. I mean, I'm biased anyway, aren't I? Let's face it. But this is just personal preference. The grey's a nice colour. Again with this one, is this from 1989? Did I read before? I'll hold it up, but I don't think you'll be able to read it on there. If you do, you'll be doing a lot better than me. That is it 024? 24th week of 1990. Okay, so yeah, I think they were on the market 89 and 90 then. Again, hose at the back. I have actually got all the small tools. Let me just turn the cable down. There we are, quick release. Got a grey flex, but similar to that you get on the old cylinders. I don't know if this is actually appropriate, original rather, but it looks nice. Then we have grey hose. So this end is very much like what you'd have on some of the toolkits for the 500 series by this point. So grey hose. We have a extension tube and decent sized crevice nozzle. So they were still doing a decent size of these on the top of the range uprights, but your 500 series toolkits, they were probably about half the size of this at this point, but it's not too bad. Again, it's stretchy, so it will get up a few flights of stairs. Let's put that back in there. Carry handle and cord storage, and there is a cord storage thing here that swivels, so that's quite nice. Oh, I keep moving that away too much. Your butterfly tool goes on here. I won't take it off just because it's awkward to put back on. But yeah, it's not too bad. The difference with this type, so we mentioned like 616E, is it has, can we see, this is your power selector. So like we would have on 506, 560, what were the other two? 561 and 1020 that are in the sort of the 500 series type design. It's the same equivalent. So you can go to boost for stub and dirt and using the tools, and then that just reduces down. We can see, I'm not very good at, I can't do it back to front, that's my trouble. Let's see, yeah, so that just spins round. And the very, very lowest that it'll go to, that'll be for like doing your curtains or something. And then just ramp it up for doing your regular cleaning of carpets, and then onto boost for tools and stub and dirt. And inside, again, it's pretty much the same. We've got piston here, under the bag, slightly different arrangement for the, let's take that off. Come on, lady, there we go. Take the bag out. I still haven't got the hang of it. Same bags. Yeah, in here, slightly different arrangement for the filter. This is like a cage thing that seems to be in place now. Electronics are still behind here. With the suppressor's behind here. I think I've taken it out of this one. I haven't from the blue one. Because the blue one, I think the wires weren't separate, and I think it was the neutral or the live, it's like a joint connection to one end of the suppressor, and I thought, oh, I'm not faffing with that now. I'll leave it in, keep my fingers crossed, and then see what happens. So if it goes bang, we know why. Oh, I've done this right. I'm so out of... Is it that way? No, it is that way, isn't it? I've done it like the once, and then not touched it again. I'm sure on the other one, the clip was at the bottom. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, it does work okay. The brush roll has got a bit of life left in it. There's a problem with this. Well, probably it's not a massive problem, but I find this one quite difficult to push around. That with this setting for carpets, you'd think it would need to be in the lowest one for this pile, but you can hardly move it. But if you put it into this setting here, it goes a bit too easy and doesn't really touch it. So in between, it sort of works, but it's not the easiest to push around, I'll be honest. But the suction on it is great. I have, luckily, the instruction booklet, and it covers both 614 and 616. So that's quite handy to have. And it explains the usual kind of thing about, I think you had to fit the handle to start with. And then bits and bobs about, put it into use, how to select the height for cleaning the carpet, using the tools, the bit about the power selector, checking the dust bag, changing the filters, all that kind of thing, and changing the roller. I think that features somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here we go, yeah. Changing the roller. Like I say, these are nigh impossible to get now. And I think it's set, I'm sure you could get them with the bearing cap ends already attached, but this says that you can keep hold of them and tighten them up once they're in. But putting an air freshener in the cage as well, changing the belt, all that kind of malarkey. And then your guarantee and your service centres and stuff on the back. So it's quite nice to have. I think I'd also... Did I have something else? No, I didn't. I was thinking I had some more paperwork to do with that. But yeah, this is kind of like, at this point, this 1989, 1990 is where my interest in vacuums kind of finishes, vintage-wise. 600s are that like mid to late 80s. Inventive because they were like a domestic vacuum that had tools attached that were kind of, you know, I suppose mass produced. They were very popular. They sold a lot. You don't see too many come up for sale. I saw this on eBay and I snapped it up and it was filthy, but it's all gone in the bath and it's all cleaned up fine. But yeah, because they're a lot more fragile than the 500 series, you don't really see too many. I mean, this one, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's got a few scratches. The pedal at the back here, there's only one side that's actually got the bit of plastic remaining, so it is a bit of a wobbly release. But underneath and everything, it's all pretty sound. I'll switch this on and just give it a quick push over just so you can see, and then we'll have a look at the 612, and I've got catalogues and things that relate to that, so we can get a little bit more information, motor stuff and all that. So bear with, I'll just give this one a quick push. Yeah, but the quickest of pushes really just to just so you get the idea. Release that. I think it will come on in full boost. Oh, and the hose is out. Yeah, it's not too bad at all actually. It's just a bit awkward with the pushing over the carpets. It's not the easiest to push around, but then it's not bad. It certainly looks nice, and it's cleaned up pretty nice as well. I mean, those other two have cleaned up okay, but the camera perhaps doesn't reveal that there are quite a few scratches. So let me just get this wrapped up, and then we'll have a look at the 612, just give that a quick push round as well. Okay, so we've moved rooms just to get a bit more space and a bit more light. So we'll finish off with the 612, the electronic. So as mentioned, I think this came out late 85, beginning of 86, something like that. It was the top of the range. You had 610, 610, as you prefer, which was the more basic. So all it meant is it didn't have the power selector, but pretty much everything else was the same. I found this a while back, a little advert from the time about why do only 27% of men help with the housework? And basically it's trying to say, well, if they had an Electrolux 612, more men would do it. Yeah, there's the man just sat in front of the TV while his wife's cooking the dinner. But it's interesting what it says. It's like, let's face it, 73% of you lot are still not pulling your weight. We know you're out at work all day, so are 40% of married women. It shows how times have changed, but it but it does make me laugh, this next bit. It says, we know you think it's sissy, chauvinist. So yeah, very much of its time. But I'll hold that there. And then I don't know whether it will focus enough for you to pause it and read what that says. I'll take a photo of it and I'll post it to the wall. I think that might be a good idea. But that did make me chuckle. I'm going to frame that and put it on the wall, I think. Okay, so as mentioned, I have got some documentation that relates to this this particular one. So this is the first catalogue that I've got, which is from, when is it from? April 1986. And I think we might have looked at this before, but we've got the 610 on the front, and then if I open it up, yeah, there we go. Got the first generation of 610 and 612. You notice the design on here. Oh, sorry, I'm not sat very well, and I'm not holding this very well. But this 612, slightly different design. Can you see this has 612 down here at the bottom with this BBC Sport logo, which I always think of. This one, it's got it written at the bottom. Can you see? The bottom of the bag door. And it says, what does it say? It's a 560 watt motor. And I think the 610, so the 614 would be the same, is a 550 watt motor. Blah, blah, blah. 6.5 litre reusable dust bag, extra wide track nozzle. Yeah, it's pretty much what we already know. There's just another view of it there. And then a later catalogue, which is from June 87, and that's got the 610 on the front again. I haven't got one any later than this, so no 616. But yeah, we've still got the same design there. So come 1988, which is when this is from, they've redesigned it slightly. I don't think it tells you anything else. No, by this stage we've got twin turbos, we've got Electrolux, and a quick pickup for indoors. Anybody? Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, back to the paperwork. I have got a manual. So 6110. Oh, all these sixes, I can't get my teeth around them. 610 and 612. And again, like the previous manual, it covers exactly the same. So it just tells you how to build it in the first instance, where things are, power selector relevant. God, sorry, this is going to be really rope, isn't it? The floor head selector, so you can determine the height of the carpets, which setting best to use. Just a bit more blurb. Fitting the tools and all that kind of malarkey. Filter pads, blockages, etc. I think the back page is changing the belt, changing the roller. So yeah, it mentions more about tightening the roller once it's back in place, because the end caps do come off. And then just a bit about servicing and all that kind of thing. So yeah, nice to have. Very nice to have. Onto the cleaner itself. We've seen it all before. I have actually got a cable clip for this one. I'm really short of these. I need to have a look out and see if there's any for sale anywhere. But yeah, quick release cable. Now I think this should have had blue flecks, but this is grey. But it actually seems to work quite well. We have blue hose, if I can get it out, pardon the expression. Again, same sort of handle, quite worn. I think the really early ones had a little control here for the suction, but this is where the whole suction for the machine runs through. Where if that's out, you get no pickup from the hood. The tools are in fairly good condition. Crevice tool, it's had some use but not massively. Fairly shiny, not too scratched. Extension tube there. And then put that back where you are. And our flying fanny, I'll take this one out in the matching blue. Nice soft bristles or whatever. But yeah, as I say, I find these are quite difficult to get back on. There you go. It wasn't too bad. And inside, pretty familiar scene. Little filter at the bottom. Bag. It is a genuine bag, it's just different colour. Cage for your air freshener, which I haven't got, and piston bag check indicator. Go on, go back in. There we are. So yeah, I'll give this a push so you can see it going. It's got a new brush roll, so it should be better. Makes a little squeak at the end, but we're quite happy with that when you turn it off. I like them. I like the look of them, but they're not so great to use. I'm glad I've got them. I'll hang on to them. But the 500 series wins for me. I know you've got to attach the tools, but I just find these are style over substance. The motors are the same as the 500 series, so it's not like that they've ramped up on the power or anything. It's just the convenience of having the hose. And the fact that you don't actually see that many of them still around kind of goes to show that they weren't as well made. They were still very well made, considering how things are made now, let's face it. But yeah, nice to have, nice to keep. A few scratches, as I say, but that's the life of a vacuum cleaner. It will get scratched. So yeah, I'll give it a quick push, and then I'll be back again soon with some twin turbo specials that I've managed to come up with. Yeah, little squeak, but I'd say this one is my favourite of the three. It seems to work the best. It looks the best. I like the colour. It's got the better brush roll, and yeah, overall, I think had I been back in the 80s and had been in a position to buy one of these, I'd have definitely plumped for a 612, I think. If I couldn't get a 504 or a 560, something like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. It does the trick. They're nice to have, and yeah, they make me appreciate the 500 series that little bit more. But I hope you like them. If you got any questions or anything, just give me a shout in the comments or whatever. If you want to see them again or do anything in particular, just let me know. And any more general information about this particular range, because they are a bit new to me. I'm not an expert on them, as you can probably tell. But yeah, they are a piece of their time, and it's nice to have saved them. So see you soon.